Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Coach's Corner University podcast. I am your host, Paul O'Neid, and today I am joined by a new friend, Jim Hallinan. Jim had me on his podcast with Aram, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce Aram's last name.
Gregorian.
Yeah. And we had a great conversation, and I knew Jim was someone who I wanted to get to know and speak to more. So I figured, why not just have him on the podcast? Welcome.
Well, thank you, man. I definitely enjoyed our conversation on ours, and a lot of the things that you said resonated with me. So I appreciate you saying what you said, and looking forward to a conversation. So yeah, man, thanks for having me.
No problem. So, let's get it started old-fashioned way. Who are you?
All right, I'm Jim Hallinan. I'm actually a public school teacher. I've been a teacher. I'm going into my 25th year as a teacher. Taught high school for 23 of those years. And I just got done teaching my first year of elementary school because I needed to change my environment. Seniors in high school were absolutely draining me. I actually wrote a curriculum at my school because I just want to teach. And I'm in phys ed. I wrote a curriculum in nutrition and kinesiology that would be an elective for seniors who want to get into anything involving this, because we have every option at our school for people to take classes. I mean, advanced pottery is like a class, and we have nothing for people who want to learn about actual real health and wellness. So wrote that curriculum and they put that into the school and taught that for a handful of years. And then the school just stopped offering it. Kids were signing up and coming up to me and saying, hey, I'm excited about the class. I'm in your class, blah, blah, blah. And then the school lets them know, oh, you're gonna have to pick something else. We're not running it. And there was no expectation, to me whatsoever. Yeah. And there was kids signing up. I mean, we had enough to run the class, and nothing was ever explained to me why. And it just kind of took the wind out from under me in terms of now I'm just here teaching senior phys ed. I like teaching health. I always focused on the nutrition aspect of things, on stress, anxiety, depression, like those types of things when I was teaching that. And, but yeah, I just wanted to be around people who want to be there, and these little kids want to be there. And I've never yelled in my career. And now I yell every day at 6-year-olds because they can't follow like one-step instructions. But through teaching that class, I ended up starting doing online coaching. So that was almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
I'm teaching these kids about nutrition coaching. This is a thing, just like personal training. And they've never heard of it. They're like, what is this? And so by the end of that school year, I started my own nutrition coaching business. I just started going around to gyms and offering my service of doing a seminar. And I was doing them all the time, to the point that gyms started to pay me to come out. Orange Theory was paying me to come out and do seminars to answer these questions, because most personal trainers, they're only going to be passing on what worked for them, and just telling people to do things. And it just probably leads to a lot of frustration. So that's kind of how the business started. And in general, coaching Gen Pop people, most people, mostly women wanting to lose weight. I've had some athletes, jiu-jitsu fighters, CrossFit athletes, high school athletes, but in general, just Gen Pop. And over the years, just seeing what people really struggle with became much more of a passion of mine. And it's not just hitting macros. It's not just hitting workouts, but finding the reasons why, and even digging deeper beyond that initial why. A lot of people, when they'll want to dig a little deeper than just their physique and how they look, they'll be like, I just want to be able to play with my kids. Or I want to be around my kids grow up, or things like that, which I feel like is a lot of times it's a good answer and I understand it.
I think they pay lip service to it, though.
Yes. It's like there's typically more under the surface. That led to me then starting a group coaching on inner work, discovering values, discovering your strengths, implementing these things, kind of a little bit into like some shadow work type stuff, what things have gotten into your way, from your past. And it was a really amazing experience doing the group. I haven't done one in about 6 months, and it's something I do want to get back into. I've had a lot of life changes over the past year. I think we might have talked about it either on or offline. Yeah, I got divorced about a year and a half ago, and That's where I am. That's what I do. I'm a public school teacher.
Yeah.
I'm a coach, and I like digging a little deeper than just the physique, a lot deeper than just the physique.
Yeah. I think, listen, there's a lot we can pull out of that. Let's start you decide to launch this business, and it doesn't surprise me that you did this, but this would be what kids these days would consider old school is you just started offering your help for free.
Yeah.
What would was there a plan there, or were you just like, I don't really know how to get in front of people, so I'm just going to offer to do it everywhere?
Yeah, I never have a plan with almost anything. I mean, I own a driving school where we teach 16-year-olds how to drive. I've had that for 16 years, and I literally just Googled how to start a business in New Jersey. And just went step by step. No clue what I was doing, no plan. It was just having faith in something and doing it. And then if it fails, it fails. But I'd much rather do something and get it off the thought, get the thought out of my mind. Like, I'm just going to do it. And then at least I tried.
That's a skill, man.
Yeah. Versus having some kind of business plan or 5-year plan or anything like that. So with me going and doing the seminars, it was just a common sense thing to me of how to get in front of people. And there's no offer at the end of it. You know, some gyms would be really like, well, what's your deal? Like, what do you get out of this? And I'm like, I'm just a teacher. I like to teach. I understand that these are questions that a lot of your clients probably have, and I can answer all those questions. And if I can, I'll tell them I can't. And the only thing I get out of it is if in the future they're thinking, hey, they do want help with this, they'll think of me and maybe reach out. But otherwise, I'm not looking for anything. I mean, I would run challenges with gyms, and I would orchestrate the whole thing. So it was just kind of one thing led to another, but it was just a common sense kind of thing. And then I the only goal I think I ever set one year was I want to do one seminar at least once a month, this 1 year. And
That's a lot of seminars.
Yeah. And I got, it was 12 to 15. I got at least once a month over the course of that time. And it's generally like, group fitness gyms. It's not going to LA Fitness or these big, these group fitness type gyms. So, and that was just, showing up to places, knocking on the door. Hey, what's up?
I have value to offer you. Yeah. I have value to offer you. If you're interested, great. If you're not, all the best. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
We did that a lot when we first started. And I still even hesitate at the level that I've reached, I still hesitate to charge for seminars because say I charge $100, it's just a random price. It might trim the number of people that I can get in front of by half. Okay. Then I still have to probably sell them on something at the end to make it worth my while. Yeah. Or I could do it for free, get twice as many people in front of me, give them tons of value that they say, whoa, if he gives this away for free, I wonder how he coaches. Because from a pure numbers standpoint, if you get in front of 40 people and you do it for free for 2 hours, and then, 4 of those people sign on with you, you charge $300 a month. That's $1,200 per person on a 3-month minimum contract. You just made $3,600 in 2 hours.
Yeah.
People don't
get that. Was always my approach always was free when people offered, like a place like Orange Theory, they have budgets for those things. And they were like, no, we want to pay you. One of the locations was an hour away and they're like, we want to at least pay for your time with coming up here and doing everything. So I was like, okay, just threw out a number, something low for that. But I never asked. It was always something that was offered when I did get paid. But I have the same viewpoint as you of I'll just come up for free.
When you say that you started the business without a plan, you just acted. Is that something that you apply in parallel in other areas of your life?
I would say for the most part, there's not a whole lot of planning and thinking too far into the future. I've kind of released a lot. I mean, I'm 46 years old. Over the last few years, I'd say my mind has opened up in much different ways than in the past. I feel like I embody it with how I go about my day, not just saying things. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of times when first we're learning something and we're just saying these things, but we're not really living it. And for people that are younger, understand you have a long way to go, but to start taking action, I think is the biggest thing.
I
Not
think it's a
thinking too
skill.
much.
I
Yeah.
truly think that is a skill that very few people are born with. The ability to just say, all right, I'm going to do this and go out and do it or commit themselves fully to something. I think there's a lot of background thought that goes into it in terms of like, especially now, is this the best way to do it?
Yeah.
Or
That's the worst.
which
The
kills so
worst.
many people's results before they even
Yeah.
start. Then it's okay, is this gonna get me to where I want to go as fast as possible? And it's the question should be, how much can I learn through this?
Yes.
The
Yes.
question should be, does this actually align with my values and my priorities? Is this something that I'm interested in? Because I heard a quote the other day from Naval Ravikant. He's an AI guy, but he does a little bit of like philosophy stuff. And he said, the best way to get rich is to find something that you love, because for you it will be fun and you'll work harder on it, and for everyone it'll be work.
That's so funny you say that because I just had this conversation with my 12-year-old son last
Oh,
week.
really? Okay.
He gets in touch with me. He's looking at stuff on YouTube, careers and what he can make money in, and he's like asking me about the S&P 500 and investing in index funds. He's like looking at all this stuff. He goes, if I could be a real estate agent and do this, I could do like e-commerce. There's like these guys that are making millions of dollars in e-commerce. And I said to him, I go, the people that are making all that money in a certain field are making it because they love something about it. They love
Absolutely.
doing it. And they want to learn everything about e-commerce. And they took that, and then you see afterwards
Yeah.
what they achieved. But you don't hear about the 99% of people who tried to become a millionaire in e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of becoming a millionaire, and they quit right away because it wasn't something that they were passionate about. So find something that you actually are passionate about, and then you can have that outcome that you're looking for.
I think that is a massive part of why we see so many coaches come into the industry and leave relatively quickly, is they just see it as an opportunity to make money, and they don't actually love training. They don't actually love nutrition. They don't actually love helping people.
I was going to say that they actually don't love people. They like maybe the attention of being the person who has these before and after photos.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said at the beginning, they know it worked for them. It's like, oh, do this. And
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. And then how many coaches maybe screwed people up because they put
Oh,
them in something too
I built a
extreme?
business off fixing those people.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's so like, if there is advice in this for coaches, it's like, yeah, absolutely. If you think you enjoy coaching, you should try coaching. But if you don't love it, don't do it, because we don't need any more people who are here to either, market nefariously, sell like snake oil, um, mess people up, and bring the industry down. We need more people who are actually going to build people up and bring positivity into it. One of my biggest pet peeves is, and I don't like talking about pet peeves in general because I like to keep things positive, but whenever I hear a coach tell me that they're too busy to train, I want to strangle them until there's no more life left in their body.
Yeah, because they're helping people who feel the same way, and then you're not actually doing it yourself.
That, and don't you love training? I like, I've done what I've done in business and I have never missed a workout.
Sorry, we all can't be you, Paul. Okay.
Yeah, but you can. That's the thing. You can. It's a choice.
Absolutely.
Like, I remember, and this is like a really, you could take this however you want it. When in 2020, I got divorced and I moved back to Ontario from Calgary. And a week after I got home, my dog died. I was at the hospital, the animal hospital, with the dog for like 13 hours. I said goodbye. I held him in my arms in the car because it was during COVID, so they wouldn't let me in. They had to bring him to the car. The first place I went was the gym. And that's where I go when I'm stressed or when that's the place.
And that becomes something over time, that
Yeah, for
people
sure.
can learn to trust. I mean, this was something I was just dealing with this past week. Um, my son is going to the beach for a week with my ex, and I'm excited for them. But it hit me the day before. Like, this was something that we did every summer for years, and now
Mm,
I'm not part of it. And
right.
I didn't realize how it was affecting me. And in the past, I would absolutely escape. And I talked about this in my stories that day and the next day. I would typically escape, and it might just be laying out back in the yard or watching TV. In years past, it might be having drinks and whatever. Um, and I didn't this time. I'm just in a different place, kind of like what I alluded to at the beginning of everything. And sometimes people, they're looking at training like it's therapy, and I understand that to a point. But it's more so for me, hey, this is something that I'm committing to, and I don't want to escape things that I'm feeling. And it absolutely changes when your mindset towards it changes, you know.
How how do you help your clients unlock that level of awareness within themselves?
It's hard. It's just through conversation. It's through understanding and through empathy and through asking questions. Um, I used to, at the beginning of coaching, would want to start offering solutions. And I think, and I'm
Mm,
sure you can relate to this as a
yep.
coach, and you're not a 25-year-old, is when somebody's telling me something, I'm asking them questions about how they feel about it.
Hmm.
I'm sure you've, I've had, clients text me, maybe it's a number on the scale. And I was like, nice. And then they're like upset about it. And so I've kind of learned over the years, don't even respond with what I think.
Hmm.
Ask them what they think. They might tell me about the weekend, and I might be thinking, like, that's not what we talked about, how you want to handle the weekend. And in their head, they were like really successful.
Yep.
So how do you feel about that? And see how they feel about the weekend or how they feel about their decisions. So I think it's just through conversation and, and helping them, discover what their values are, and always kind of going back to that.
Hmm.
Nobody's value is a number on the scale. So why do you keep complaining about a number on the scale? What are your values? Is it health? Is it fitness? Is it wellness? Is it genuinely your family? Is it adventure? Is it excitement? Is it humor? Like, what are your actual values? And then if you're not taking action to be in alignment with that, then we could talk about it. But don't be complaining about things that aren't even in the landscape of your values. And I think sometimes figuring it out, having conversations around it, reminding them, not allowing them to go down the rabbit hole of complaining about things that aren't even an aspect of their values, can help over time.
I think we get in the habit of being, especially if you are a gen. I don't know about you, but for me, I found as I've gotten older, I've gotten more calm, just in
Oh
general.
yeah.
And I used to find that if someone would bring me problems, I'd immediately look for solutions.
Hmm.
Whereas now it's more of a conversation with the client over how would you like to address this?
Yes.
Right? What type of support do you need from me in this moment? Because if the client is spiraling, sometimes it's my job to slow them down. Sometimes it's my job to throw them deeper into the spiral so that they can realize for themselves what they're doing. Both are phenomenal strategies
Hmm.
and both will work for different types of people. But you have to have an understanding of the relationship here. And I found that as I've gotten older, I've been able to form these deeper relationships because I also have more life experience.
Yeah.
And drawing from that, drawing from my own mental health therapy, drawing from my own challenges, has, like you said, has developed this level of empathy that I definitely did not have when I was 25.
Yeah. It's
You know,
so nice getting older, man.
it
It's
is.
like every year when I turn the next number,
Yep.
I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I enjoy getting older. And the reason is because I'm taking care of myself. I'm not disgusted with myself or anything like that. So that's one positive thing about getting older. But then everything that you just said, that wisdom that comes with it, but you did work. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
You didn't stay resistant and angry. I mean, I just remember how angry I was, but under this guise of positivity, not realizing how everything that we see truly is a mirror. And we hear that phrase a lot, and you don't understand it until you understand it, unfortunately. But seeing somebody, I mean, even my brother, I used to judge him for how, he'd go to a concert and he'd just be all over the place, just dancing, not giving a shit. I'm like, and I'd be like, all right, dude, like, bring it down, relax.
Chill
You're
the fuck
taking up
out.
a lot of space, like, chill out, whatever. And then I look at that and I go, I didn't have that freedom,
Mm.
and that's why that upset me. Now, when I go out with them, I love it. I'm like, this dude, he don't give a shit. He's just enjoying himself. He's not bothering anybody. And even things like that, as an example, are a mirror. The things that are upsetting you about other people are something that you're missing or not accepting in yourself.
It's oftentimes our response is actually in relation to something that we are missing
Mm-hmm.
or something that we wish we had. Um, it sounds like you and I have very similar brothers because my brother is absolutely off the wall.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember he would frustrate me to no end,
Yeah.
but it's because he just had a more laissez-faire attitude. He was just genuinely unbothered by the world and would do his thing. And for
Yeah.
me, at a younger age, I cared so deeply about what other people thought. I had these feelings of inadequacy that I was searching externally to try to validate. And it wasn't until I did the work that I got to a place where I understood, hey, you're good. And the way that you're reacting, and I think this is where I'm going with it is, are you reacting or are you responding?
Yeah.
Because those are two different things. One is
Absolutely.
conscious, one is unconscious. And as a coach, we need to be able to listen in order to respond, not listen in order to react.
Yeah.
And I think,
Listen.
yeah,
Actually listen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that the types of clients that you are attracting are kind of somewhere along the spectrum of your own personal growth journey?
It's funny. I am contemplating, thinking a lot about shifting to just coaching men and
Mm-hmm.
talking about some of the aspects of masculinity in this. And
Me too, actually.
yeah, yeah. I know that I connect well with women. I
Mm-hmm.
know that women, I think there's a lot of value for a woman to maybe hear a man validate maybe what they're going through. Maybe they have a husband at home that's just kind of ignoring them or complaining.
Right.
And it's like, no, these are real valid things. So I think that there's something good about that. But I think women should be probably learning from women and not seeking male attention. And I shouldn't need validation from a female client or
Mm.
anything like that. So I've gone down such a deep spiritual rabbit hole over the last few years. I would say that no, I'm not totally getting clients that are where I'm at bandwidth wise currently.
Mm.
In years past, yes, from the sense of just being a regular person. I'm a teacher. I was a parent. I was a husband. I was a business. I'm busy, so I could relate and understand. So in that sense, yes, I
Mm.
was getting clients that would maybe be similar to my experience.
Yeah, I found personally, because I share a lot of my own journey and I share a lot of the things that I'm doing, and I share a lot of the reflections that I have during that process, I get a lot of clients who are somewhere along that spectrum of me when I started and me where I am. And
Yeah,
they're looking at me like a guide to take them along that hero's journey. It's like this guy's walked the path before. He's a business owner, he's jacked, he has priorities, he has values, he shows up for his people. That's the kind of man that I want to be.
yeah,
And so I'm getting clients that somewhat mirror that desired trajectory and don't necessarily know where to go with it. And this is something that I try to teach the coaches that I work with in a mentorship capacity is you need to share these aspects of yourself. And that's something that in following you over the last couple months is like, you're sharing your journey, you're sharing pieces of yourself, because at the end of the day, your clients need to trust you.
Yeah.
And they also need to know you, because
Yeah.
if they don't know you, like you, and trust you, they're never going to purchase coaching from you in the first place. And you'll have very little structure to form a relationship on.
Yeah. I remember going to conferences, and one specific person, almost every conference, he would do this where he would pull people up or ask for volunteers or whatever, like, why should I hire you? And the person, it's like somebody would stand up and say, because, and they'd give their reasons.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, great. Well, why should I hire you? And then somebody else says the same thing. It's like, well, it sounds like you guys do the same thing. So what's the difference? And it was like trying to get people to come up with their system. Oh, the ABC of weight loss, the RAD style of weight loss, or whatever acronym, where at the end of the day, it was always the exact same thing. We'll build up your maintenance calories. That will put you in a deficit. That will get you to, like, it was always the same thing, but a different acronym. And it's like, why should I should hire you? And every time I sat there and I would see this guy do this, I just would think if you called on me, or if I wanted to, whatever, don't. If you're not sure if you want to hire me, I don't want you to hire me.
Yep.
Go hire somebody else. And when it doesn't work out, then you can come see me. I'm not going to sell you on my system of whatever for exactly what you just said. Somebody's following me. There's something about me that's resonating with them that they're going to want to hire me. Cool. I don't have to sell myself to you. If you resonate with somebody else, hire them. I don't want to have a battle with you the entire time, this relationship where I'm trying to prove to you anything about myself or my system or whatever it might be. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that, noticing that.
Man.
I operate in the same way.
I think it pre-qualifies clients. Like, so if we look at the sales timeline of working with somebody, there has to be some sort of pre-qualification. And if you're sharing elements of a personal journey centered on growth, if you're sharing deep work, if you're sharing these very intense strategies to get to know yourself and make improvements to your life, if someone isn't ready for that, they're not going to hire you.
Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of situations, especially recently, where, because I talk about how our coaching is very high touch. I talk about how our coaching is relationship based. And the amount of communication that I mandate from the clients that work with me is way higher than they're used to, right? The amount of data that we're tracking, or the amount of, back and forth conversations, they're just not necessarily prepared for it. Ultimately, they love it, but it's a big shock to them that I actually practice what I preach. And I think that's really important for coaches to hear. Is like, you have to be a reflection of your product. Like I talk about it all the time. You have to be a product of your product. So for you, I see you in the gym training. I see you running. I see you being active. I see you, sharing elements of reflection. And it's like, ultimately, that's what we want our clients to be doing. So we have to represent that ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing better than those aha moments that a client has. Way more than hitting a number on the scale.
Absolutely.
It's like, I feel emotional thinking about some of them right now. It's crazy. I'm like, welling up thinking about it, where it's just like everything changed for them without an ounce dropping off the scale. Yeah. Just those are the greatest moments as far as I'm concerned.
Let's talk a little bit about your group coaching, because this is something that I would like to get into, especially in the men's space.
Yeah.
There is such a gap in the market in terms of people who actually want to help men become the best versions of themselves through tools that actually engender personal connection versus like external results. You'll get are you a busy entrepreneur who wants to lose 10 pounds versus, are you actually living in alignment with yourself?
It's a tough sell to a lot of men. It's easy to sell these things to women. It's like they are more emotional, more reflective in nature. Men are taught, like toughen up, be there, whatever it might be. You just got to grind, and they're miserable. And I'm okay with there being a smaller client load for a period of time if this is something that I do feel pulled to. So I'm with you on that. It can be a tough sell, but I think the more you just keep showing up, discussing and speaking to men, then men start to, oh, he is speaking to me. It's not just something I can maybe ignore. And that's something I do want to be more intentional with. But yeah, I like that. The group thing has been great. I've had men and women in it, and both had pretty wild responses from some of them.
Let's stay with the conversation on men, because I think I haven't actually had this conversation with anyone on the podcast. So I think it's valuable, especially you and I both having gone through a lot of personal growth in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, one of the challenges is, or has been, this element of the inner critic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think men deal with that a lot because they're told that they have to handle their emotions on their own. They cannot share them. They're told that if they feel emotions, they're weak. But a lot of the behaviors that hold them back from achieving the results physically, emotionally, cognitively, professionally come from their inability to address those inner things and seeking out behaviors that, as you mentioned, disconnect them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, like, in your coaching practice, or just like, actually, fuck that, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. There's a lot of buried emotion. Even when I was going through my divorce, I mean, hearing comments that were said, this is what marriage is like. You got to get through the tough times. And, like as a man, you need to be there for your family, and having no clue what anything about my situation at home was like, and where I was at. And she's great. We get along great. It was the smoothest divorce. Obviously, ups and downs afterwards as moving out happened and things like that. But we're getting along great. We just weren't compatible. I had to realize I have this one life, and I'm just numbingly going through it because this is what's expected. You're expected to just stick it out because it's the quote unquote right thing to do, to sacrifice, your own happiness, which ultimately is negatively affecting your partner.
Mm-hmm.
If you're miserable and they're just there, also miserable, but just accepting the current state of that reality. And when you start to connect with your emotions and then start asking the question, why is this emotion coming up? That's that digging deep. And when you start to uncover those things that are beneath the emotions, instead of ignoring them, pushing aside, and just go to work, show up, whatever it is that most men do, then you start to uncover why this emotion's there. Why am I feeling this way? What is triggering this? If you could start to connect things even to childhood experiences and your mother-father relationship,
Mm-hmm.
then it all starts to make sense. And then when you can start to be there for the younger version of yourself in different ways, it all sounds crazy to somebody who has not ever had this thought process or gone down that road. It sounds woo-woo, childhood, blah, blah, blah.
Nope.
And I had a good upbringing.
Me
So it's
too.
easy to just dismiss it.
Yep.
And be like, I got a buddy, he was in a band with my brother, and one of the lines in his songs was, I had two good parents, can't blame my youth. And it's easy to dismiss some of the things that you might be feeling or have experienced in your childhood because it wasn't bad. It was good on paper, but there's still these things relationally that did affect you.
Absolutely.
It's very interesting when you take the time, and they are difficult conversations to have with yourself.
This is, that's pretty much mirrors a lot of my own personal journey. And the reason it's so front of mind for me is because, the last year has been a massive challenge, from tearing both my quads, being in a wheelchair, to committing 100% to getting to my best self. And then this was 2 days ago on Sunday. Sunday, I just finished posing with my coach. And he sent me all the pictures from our session. And I'm sitting in my car looking at these pictures of what my body looks like 1 year after being in a wheelchair, bawling my eyes out because I'm so proud. I have never allowed myself to feel pride because I had convinced myself that it would make me complacent. That pride that I felt was 100% related to the commitment I made to myself for myself. Not for any external validation, not for any trophy. Yes, I'm going to compete and I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to be, judged by a judged by a judging panel. I don't fucking care if I come last.
Yeah.
I know the work that I put in.
Yeah, yes. What a free play. This is exactly the stuff I was talking about the last few days. It's such a freeing thing.
Yes.
When that is, I got chills here. You say that. It's so freeing when it's for yourself. You have your reasons, and it's not about the prize. Nope. The prize is doing it.
The prize was me sitting in the car crying.
Yeah.
And I am so eternally grateful for the partnership that I have with my wife, because I was able to come home and share that with her. And she was affirming to me that these are the things that I should be feeling, and recognizing that effort. So yeah, I felt it, but then to have that affirmation from my partner, now it just ingrains that in me. And I've been she even mentioned it yesterday. She's like, you're handling this so much better than your last prep. You're happier, you're showing up, you're not miserable. And I'm like, yeah. And obviously for me, I diminish it, right? It's like, yeah, but I don't have any gut issues this time. And I wasn't as dieted hard as I was last time. And it's like, yeah, no, but you're also, that doesn't change the fact that you're present.
Yeah.
I think the best gift that we can give our clients is teaching them how to be present.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to tell my clients when they're struggling is, hey, you are where your feet are. You're right here. You can't escape. You're feeling what you're feeling. You've done what you've done. How are you going to respond? And I think, again, when we're talking about men in specific, the tendency is to numb or to seek some coping strategy. And we use training and nutrition as our vehicle for personal development, right? Like training and nutrition is our tool.
Yeah. When you said that on our podcast, I was like, I love just the simplicity of that phrasing. I love it. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And so when we're using that vehicle, we have to bring attention to the fact that, hey, your coping strategies are the reason you can't achieve the results that you want through your training and nutrition. So how do we address these coping strategies and go deep to the core so that we can create the freedom, and then you can bring in your training and nutrition and start seeing results?
Yeah. I think for some men, their escape might be the gym. And then it's like, and then they're never happy even with what they're doing in the gym, because it's just, that was the place that they avoided their emotions. And it's like, oh, I'm going to train, and they're still never happy. Even if they have a good physique, it becomes this mode to like boast and this ego thing, but there's still that emptiness inside because they, again, never dealt with the emotions. They escaped with it in the gym. And then it's justified because, well, hey, it's better than going to drugs and alcohol. Yes. Yeah, it is. But you're still angry.
Yeah, but the problem is that nowadays people they escape to the gym and then they blast a shit ton of gear so that they can do the gym more. Yeah. So they're still going to the drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking from experience here. I was a 26-year-old kid squatting 800 pounds.
Yeah.
I know what that's like.
I don't.
So, well, you'll actually laugh. So remember when I said if you're under 200 pounds, you're a victim?
Yeah.
Guess what I weigh right now?
199?
No. Not quite. I was 206. 206 is the lowest. I told my coach, I'm like, no fucking way I'm competing 198. It'd be completely against my personal brand.
I think I weighed over 200 pounds once in my early mid-20s, and it was not in a good way. Outside of that, Yeah, I like sitting in this 175 to 185 range. I don't
I'm
want to get new
curious.
clothes or anything. I like how I feel.
I'm curious what I'm going to weigh when I pivot away from bodybuilding this next year.
What's
Um,
the goal after this, or a mode of that you're going to pursue?
so one of the things that Olivia and I have a goal of is we're going to be starting a family in 2026. So I'd like to regain my athleticism, become more capable.
Yeah,
So I'm going to actually be. I like to have an athletic goal. So
yeah,
I've decided on competing in the tactical games, which is essentially like running, rucking, strongman events combined with marksmanship shooting.
nice.
So it's going to force me to. I'm going to have to learn how to run again. I haven't. I
Yeah,
ran a half marathon in undergrad, and since then I haven't run more than across the street.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, so I hired a good friend of mine who's he's a strength and conditioning coach at Fort Benning with Army Rangers, and so he's going to do my strength and conditioning, and then I've hired a shooting coach, and so I'm going to kind of go full bore into that.
nice. I could see you potentially getting into the running, seeing that we've had similar stories, and in a similar. I never liked running. I was never a runner. I hated it. There was one season in my life where I was training to get a black belt at an MMA gym. It wasn't like anything hardcore. It was
Mhm.
just, like all professional adults. And we had to run. Outside of that, I never did it, never enjoyed it. A buddy from work has been trying to get me to go for a run with him. We did it last Friday, so a little over like a week and a half ago, and something clicked. And I think a big part of that was like this spiritual awakening that I've had. And being present in that moment and practicing the art of slowing your breathing down and slowing your heart rate down and knowing I can take another step. Just pace yourself. You don't have to rush. And that first run we did 3 to 4 miles, whatever it was, like a 12 something pace. Today I did 4.7 miles, 4.75 miles at a 9:30 pace.
That's awesome.
And that was only 10 days ago, was that first run. But I got hooked. Like after that first run, I was hooked. The energy I felt, how I felt afterwards, being there, being away from everything, and just pop, pop, pop. Not this hard push in a lift that you're then resting and recovering. Just go ahead, pop, 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 and
Yeah,
just it was. I've been really enjoying it. I'm
love
not
it.
enjoying how tight how much my calves hurt, but
Fair.
but yeah, I'd be curious to see how you enjoy it after this. I think you might.
We'll see. Yeah, I think the running will be good. Actually, okay, here's an actionable thing. So one thing that I do whenever I am going to try something new is, and I used to make fun of people for this. You know, the person who is like at the gym, completely out of shape, but has the best kit,
Has the best what?
like equipment, like they have the
Gear.
best,
Okay, yeah,
best gear, the best shoes.
yeah,
For me, it's very important that I invest myself in something that I'm going to do because
yeah.
then I feel an obligation to continue to commit to it. I bought a Garmin, I bought a heart rate monitor, I bought new shoes. I'm like full. I bought a bunch of equipment for the gym at the house, or at the gym at the house, the garage, um, so that I can be fully entrenched in it. And that's one of the strategies that I use again to create that commitment and that buy-in, because it's literal buy-in.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. Like I'm actually looking forward to the run on Monday morning because I'm going to
Yeah.
take Sunday off, enjoy some food, and then I'm going to get into training for this new thing on Monday. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just
Yeah.
go
And
all in.
and you have evidence to support that from doing it in the past. Like
Yep.
I'm getting the gear, I'm doing all the things. It's funny because I waited a week.
Okay.
I waited a week and I'm going, I actually have like a desire to go for runs. Like last Saturday night, 7 o'clock, I go to the park and run 3 miles. I'm like, who am I? Saturday evening, I'm out running at the park. And so, yeah, I bought a pair of running shoes. I'm like, all right, the running shoes I had are old, this, whatever. I got something that might be a little bit better. But yeah, now I'm in it.
I
I
love it.
still like the strategy. You know it works.
Listen, whatever you got to do. And as a coach, I think it's important to show your clients that you're willing to do something new and to put yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Because I think in a lot of cases, training in nutrition for us is easy, right? Like, I haven't had a cheat meal in 13 weeks. I haven't eaten anything off plan in 13 weeks. I haven't missed a workout, haven't missed a cardio session, haven't missed a posing session. I've had to get them in at weird times because my schedule is a bit off, but it's just what I do. It's normal. It's like brushing my teeth. Asking someone with zero structure in their life to support that type of behavior is probably the most uncomfortable thing that we could ask of them. But if we show them that it's possible and then put ourselves in those positions, I think it makes a big difference for our people.
Yeah. And I think sometimes just our language is so important.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So like even this morning, I put in my stories about how, people say, this was after my run, how people say our body is a reflection of our decisions. And it's very negative sounding to somebody who's overweight. And I just kind of reframed it to our body adapt. Our body's amazing at adapting. It adapts. So if you have been sedentary, it's not like I'm a loser, I'm a failure. What's wrong with me? My body's a reflection of my decision. I have of low value because of it. It's no, your body has adapted to your decisions, and it will do the same thing when you start changing decisions. Mm-hmm. I think changing the language of maybe the word habit for some people, maybe to men, to ritual. What are your rituals? What are the things that you do every day because it keeps you a little bit more structured, which actually creates more freedom because it's not all chaos.
Yeah.
And you can schedule chaos. If you get your stuff done, you have your routines or your rituals. Just by saying ritual instead of routine can sometimes just feel a little bit more empowering. Like routine can feel, it's my routine, same old thing.
Yeah, ritual has an underlying meaning and value intrinsic within it.
Yes.
I love the conversation of language. I've always loved the quote, be careful what you say, you might believe it.
Yeah. You will believe it.
You will. Yeah, you will believe it. Even, and I talk about this with coaches, is like, instead of saying, I don't have time for that, say, I'm sorry, I can't prioritize that right now.
Yeah.
Or just saying no is something that is super powerful. But the way we talk about ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we talk to others, the words you say create the mental picture of your reality. Right?
100%.
Language is reality. So if your language is negative and your language is devaluing, you're not going to be in a positive headspace to make any sort of meaningful change.
Yeah. This was a conversation I was having with my son again recently. He was complaining about something. And he just kept complaining about it. I go, dude, I need you to just pause for a moment. And you might be thinking this and you might be feeling this, but I need you to pause and just not say it out loud. When you start saying it out, you might be thinking, and that's already going to have an effect. But now when you start saying it out loud, you're convinced of this and this doom and gloom because you're just saying it. So even if we can interrupt and stop that habit, that programming that we have to just say every negative thing out loud, if we can pause and stop that from happening or delay it, then we can get to the point where we're not even thinking it so much. We're switching the narrative to maybe something positive. So yeah, what we say, what we think, it will become our reality. And how much our reality can change from our perception. I mean, you drive down a street, and if you notice every business that's closed, every sign that's falling down, this street is a piece of shit street. Oh, what kind of neighborhood is it? Or you could drive down the street, you can notice the businesses that are thriving. You can notice whatever is positive. Nothing has changed about that street, but two different people have two totally different experiences on that road.
Do you find
just from the way they're perceiving it?
Do you find that there is a common thread amongst those who do well with coaching that they buy into that change in language much quicker.
Say it again. That
So
the
I've personally found that,
buy into the belief of the language change.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think the ability of a person to adapt the way that they operate and not necessarily be tied to their previous thought processes, coping strategies, all those things. There's a certain level of openness that needs to be there. I'm a personal believer that the coaching relationship is what allows that to thrive. What are your thoughts there?
Well, yeah. I mean, the person needs to feel comfortable sharing things with you for you to even be able to offer a potential change of perspective. When they're closed off, when that relationship's not there, they're just not going to share as much stuff with you. And then it limits your ability to potentially help them change their perspective. And they might be holding on to that stuff and having this negative perspective and not ever sharing it with you. And there's just not that opportunity to change that perspective. And then they stay stuck. So I think the relationship is huge.
Yeah, this was brought to my attention. I was speaking with a friend of mine who's she calls herself a holistic sex coach,
Okay.
and I made fun of her for her title, but anyway, she mentioned the word vulnerability and how she didn't like it because the word vulnerability means susceptible to attack.
Okay.
We
Well,
don't
go ahead.
we don't want our clients to feel vulnerable in the coaching relationship. We want them to feel safe.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Language.
language. Yeah. Vulnerability, under that definition, I just think we are afraid to be vulnerable and show our true selves because there is a fear of the ego attacking us.
Mm,
And sometimes we need to be attacked. You tell me, in your relationship with your partner now, from the short conversation we've had about it, she probably confronts you on your shit, and it's been hard, and it's been the greatest thing that's ever happened.
absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a difference between a woman who's maybe not healed or awakened and they're confronting you and it's very accusatory and judgmental. And that's a totally different thing, even though it comes from the same feminine spirit of bringing that mirror to your face, but it's not done in a healed, awakened way. And then when you have a woman who's doing that, it's hard when that ego is challenged. So safety, yes, I would say first, if somebody can get to the place of vulnerability, understanding that when you are confronted with something, confronted, attacked,
Yeah.
same thing, different language, but we have to, it's hard to open up to that confrontation or attack on our ego.
I think a conversation I have with a lot of the coaches I work with is, are you being empathetic or are you being enabling?
Yeah, there's that lot. You said something earlier that made me think of that topic of I forget exactly what it was, but you said sometimes you have to do this and then other times you have to do this. I forget
Mm-hmm.
exactly what it was in the example, but that's the same thing. Sometimes you do want to have some empathy. You need to have some empathy and
Yep.
understanding and help redirect them. But if it's happening over and over and over again, and you're just unendingly empathetic and allowing things and not reminding them what they said they wanted to commit to,
Yeah.
now you're just enabling.
I have a few things that I say to clients very often. The first one is, how do you need to be supported right now?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my
Do you find
go-tos.
people have good responses, or are they just
Yes.
okay? Nice.
Yeah, because I do a good job of creating an environment that where they know that I'm there to help, but I will never rush to provide assistance until I know exactly how they need to be assisted, because some people just want to vent.
Yeah.
And I'll ask my wife this all the time. It's like, hey, is this something that you need a solution for, or do you just want to talk through it?
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard that,
Yeah.
to say when your partner is saying stuff, venting and complaining. I was like, wow, what a difference that would be if I did that my whole life.
Well, the other thing that I will say to clients is, before I give hard feedback, before I hold that mirror up and I shove their fucking face in it, I will literally say, I need you to understand that this is coming from a place of love and I am on your team, but boom.
Yeah.
It completely changes the response because I can be as harsh as I need to be. I had a client this past week. He came to me because he wants to compete at IPF Worlds, which is drug tested powerlifting worlds. And he's not there yet. And in order for him to get there, he's got to add a tremendous amount of weight to his total. And I've told him from the start that he has to be perfect. His execution has to be perfect. His recovery has to be perfect. He has to track his nutrition. We have to be dialed. If he wants to do what he needs to be one of the best in the world. And genetically, he's not one of the best in the world. So he has to compensate for that with his actions. And I said it to him. I said, John, this is coming from a place of love. I'm on your team, but you did not show up for yourself this week. And his response was, you're right. Give me another week. Guess what the next week was? Fucking perfection.
Nice.
And coming back to language, how we frame conversations with our clients. Tell them the goal. Like, my goal is to help you. And in order to help you, I have to be harsh with you right now because I am not in the business of enabling people. I'm not really in the business of granting people a lot of grace either. That's just my personal style.
Yeah.
But I set that expectation from the beginning. So you have to play both sides of that. If your coaching style is more empathetic, is more on the, let's say, slow burn kind of, more touchy-feely approach, then by all means, you have your own approach. I'm a more hard-nosed kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely over the years probably found myself more on the empathetic side, probably to a fault for a lot of years. And I think a lot of that probably comes from working with mostly women. And I'm just going to yell at you for getting I just try to focus on the wins and whatnot. But I probably was a little too empathetic for the first bunch of years of coaching. Or
What's
not empathetic, whatever.
enabling.
Enabling.
What's been your most proud moment as a coach?
Referring to those aha moments, I'm trying to think about if there's a specific individual in the one-on-one space, because my first thoughts are what was uncovered in these groups that I did. Those moments were the most powerful in my memory. I had two people. One woman, this was I was crying in the group call when she said this. She goes, I've been in therapy for 10 years, 15, whatever it was. And this is the first time I believe myself.
Oh,
and it's like,
that's heavy.
Yeah. And it was like amazing. And it's not like, oh, I did this,
No.
or anything like that. But I was proud of myself for creating this space that people felt comfortable to share, and they dug deep, and these were emotional calls every week in this one group. I had another person who said they learned more in the first 3 weeks about themselves than the last 3 months with their therapist. And it's not therapy or anything like that. No. And they ended up firing their therapist from the things that they discovered about themselves, or uncovered, I should say, about themselves. So those were really proud moments that I managed to create this space where people feel safe, feel comfortable. Even just yesterday, somebody reached out to me showing a picture. It's not even a client of mine, showing the difference. Like, they stopped drinking this summer, and it's somebody who's overweight. And just to know that they feel comfortable enough sharing that with somebody who's in shape, it's like, I think it's so intimidating for somebody who's struggling with body image to send it to somebody who's in shape and feel proud of themselves.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'm most proud of that, creating an environment where somebody is safe, and feels comfortable just sharing those things. But in those groups, those were probably the most proud moments, just to be able to sit there and just let people talk and listen to them and see what they
Love that.
uncovered about themselves.
What are you most excited about these days?
Being,
Being.
just being. Yeah, I just feel like I'm in such a good place after coming off what on paper was the worst year of my life, 2024, on paper. The whole time knowing this is a good thing and embracing the struggle of
Mhm.
what I went through in 2024 and doing it with an overall positive outlook, because I know that this is just the fire that's going to sharpen me.
Yep.
Um, so just being present, even understanding what that means. I don't think most people understand what it means. It's a
No.
practice that all of a sudden it ends up just clicking what that means. Um, so yeah, being, but in that being is a lot of doing, a lot of action, a lot
Yeah.
of showing up for myself, without any expectation of result. And I think if people can do that more, pursue what you want to pursue without expectation of result, that's what your passion is. People are, I think, spend so much time, what do I want to do? Or like you said, what's the best way? What's the best way? They spend so much time, and that, paralysis through analysis, thinking about things or preparing for the future, but not ever taking action now. And there's just so much value in just taking action towards something that you're passionate about without the expectation of result. Because when I think that's the biggest killer for people pursuing something, is the expectation of result at a certain timeline that they've just randomly decided that this needs to be accomplished by this time, and I'm a failure if I don't get this. You run a group and it's like, well, if I don't get this many people, it was a failure. That's not true. You just created something out of nothing, and you were brave enough to put it out there. I mean, that was a scary thing for me, to go from coaching one-on-one nutrition to saying, hey, I'm doing a group on inner work. It's like, who am I? Why would these people? And then I had an idea in my head of how many people I'd like to have, and I ended up getting that many people. Fortunately, then the next group was much smaller, and I
Mhm.
learned so much about being in a smaller group, and I was like, I really like this smaller group, like only 6-7 people. Because I didn't have any expectation of outcome. So I was able to enjoy what did come, instead of being upset, oh, I didn't get 15 people again, or this or that. So
I
yeah,
have
I don't know. It's
I
kind of
have
a
a
ramble.
deeply rooted belief that expectations kill more dreams than anything else.
Absolutely.
I've spoken about this before, but I try to live my life absent of expectation.
Yeah.
Like in general. Like
Yeah.
I don't even expect, I said this in my wedding speech. I don't even expect that tomorrow morning my wife will wake up and love me.
Yeah.
I will continue to behave in the way that I believe she will love, right? Like I will continue to be myself, value her, do all the things as a husband that a husband should do, but there's no expectation attached to it. The example that I give is, are you buying your wife flowers because buying your wife flowers will make her happy? Or are you buying her flowers because making her happy makes you happy? Two completely different expectations
Yeah.
of that. Um,
I mean, how many
and
times do we get pissed off because of an unconscious expectation that somebody else is going to respond in a certain way to something? And then you're pissed.
yep.
How come you didn't just say yes right away? How come you're resisting? And we're just pissed off.
Yeah.
Just an unmet expectation that you made up and never communicated to anyone.
How many times have you been pissed off about something happening in your life that was completely outside your control because you didn't expect it to happen?
Yeah.
And it'll completely ruin your day
Yeah.
or your week.
Yeah.
Um, Dude, I've loved this conversation. I have two more questions. So, if you had a billboard on the side of the highway for
Mm.
everyone to read, what would it say?
I don't know. I want to say finding yourself is the greatest gift you can give.
I like that.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard that before, but yeah, it's the greatest gift you can give yourself and that you can give others. And just being authentically you is the best gifts. I mean, this wouldn't all be on the billboard. That'd be too much. But we adapt to people around us, and now you're just giving them a fake version of yourself, and they're missing out on the gift of who you truly are. And so I think really discovering who you are is the best gift you can give yourself and others.
That's fantastic. Last question. Who would you like to see me interview on the podcast next? But the caveat is that you have to help me get them on.
Do you want Mike Israetel?
Sure. I'd love to argue with Mike.
Yeah, I could connect you guys.
Okay. I'd love to get Mike Israetel.
Yeah. Hopefully he still responds to me. If not, I'll hit his wife and be like, come on. Reach out to this guy.
Jim, this was a fucking phenomenal conversation. I really enjoyed this podcast, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Me too. This is exactly the kind of stuff I like talking about. So yeah.
Perfect. I'll have links to where everyone can find you in the show notes. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and we'll catch you on the next one.